He asked permission to kill a man. When he was told no, he decided the answer didn't matter. 6 days later, the same people he asked for permission killed him instead. New York, 1935. Arthur Flegenheimer, known to the world as Dutch Schultz, had built one of the most profitable rackets in the city, the numbers game in Harlem, bootlegging, extortion. He was earning millions a month and answering to almost no one. But almost no one wasn't the same as no one. Years earlier, Lucky Luciano had ended the old wars between rival bosses by creating something new, the Commission, a governing body. No single man above the rest. Every major operation now had to answer, in some form, to the collective interest of the whole. Dutch Schultz never fully accepted that. He built his empire the old way, through force, fear, and doing exactly what he wanted, when he wanted. By 1935, a federal prosecutor named Thomas Dewey was closing in on him. Tax charges, real prison time on the line. Schultz was cornered, and cornered men do reckless things. He decided the solution was simple. Kill Dewey. He brought the plan to the Commission, expecting approval. Dewey was a growing political threat to organized crime as a whole. Surely they'd see the logic. They didn't. The Commission refused. Killing a high-profile federal prosecutor wouldn't just be dangerous for Schultz. It would bring a level of government pressure down on every operation, every boss, every business the Commission had spent years protecting. One man's problem was about to become everyone's problem. They told him no. Schultz's response defined the rest of his life. He made it clear, to the men sitting across from him, that their answer didn't actually matter. He was going to kill Dewey anyway, permission or not. In that moment, Dutch Schultz stopped being a boss with a grievance. He became a liability the entire Commission now had to control. They met without him, and they made a different decision. If Schultz couldn't be reasoned with, and he couldn't be trusted to protect the collective interest of everyone who depended on the system Luciano had built, then Schultz himself was the actual threat that needed removing. The order was given to Murder Incorporated, the Commission's enforcement arm. On the night of October 23, 1935, Schultz was in the back room of the Palace Chop House in Newark, New Jersey, with 3 of his closest men. Gunmen entered. Schultz stepped away to the restroom moments before the shooting began. It didn't save him. He was shot as he came back out and collapsed at a table in the very restaurant he'd made his headquarters. He lingered for a day before he died. His final hours were spent in a hospital bed, rambling half-coherent sentences that made no sense to anyone in the room. The man who refused to answer to anyone had his life ended by the very system he refused to answer to. Here is why I'm telling you this story. Dutch Schultz wasn't killed by a rival. He wasn't killed by the law. He was killed by the very structure that had been protecting him the entire time, because he decided his own anger mattered more than everyone else's survival. This happens far beyond organized crime. Every team, every business, every family operates on some version of collective trust. People around you extend you protection, cover, loyalty, because they believe you won't burn the whole thing down to satisfy your own ego. The moment you decide your personal vendetta is worth more than the system protecting everyone around you, you're not proving your strength. You're marking yourself as the next problem that has to be solved. Real power isn't doing whatever you want, regardless of consequence. Real power is understanding that the system keeping you protected only works if you protect it back. The code is simple. The people who let their anger override the interests of everyone around them don't stay protected for long. Loyalty runs in both directions, or it doesn't run at all. That is the unwritten code. If this hit different, subscribe. Every week we break down the mindset, strategy, and discipline of the world's most calculated minds. and translate it into principles for the man who is ready to build something real. No fluff, no shortcuts, just code. Welcome to Unwritten Code.